Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. You just watched a video there by Jackie Aina, who is quite prominent in the digital space, digital content creating space on YouTube especially, and she was quite vocal actually last 2 years ago, actually 2020, during the BLM escapades, and she was quite vocal actually about the way that she was being treated by brands and stuff like that, and not wanting to be used by brands as a BLM puppet in a sense. She is being dragged, and I mean drag. I'm talking about flogging. I'm talking about dragging her to the front and slapping, beating, and flogging her properly, and rightly so actually, because as much as I make a joke of that, she's being flogged because she used some terminology that was associated with NSARS during, if you don't know what NSARS was, during a time where there were, in Nigeria, civilians were being killed, shot live on our screens. On your phone, you could see people literally recording people getting shot and killed by, by army or government, by the government. The perpetrator is government in a sense, isn't it? And people were literally being killed by their own government. And what people were asking for was Jackie Aina to speak up and use her voice. And during the process of those things, it was said that she was blocking people who were asking her to talk on the NSARS. And this is where the actual beef starts, because that particular part, you were happy to speak about brands, trying to use black people for their BLM profiting and branding and marketing in that moment. And rightly so, you spoke up at that point. She then does a product called some scented candles called, apologize again if my pronunciation is wrong, Awambi. I'm pronouncing my English term there, but Awambi, and which I believe translates to party. And then has labeled some of the candles, I think high key, low key, and then one that is Soro Soke. So I hope I pronounced it incorrectly again. I apologize if I have. Please don't kill me. But she's enabled one of the particular candles, Soro Soke, which is meaning to, I believe, speak up, to not be silent, to basically not be on the fence and to talk. And this was the rally cry that was used during the NSARS movement. And let me tell you something. When I saw it NSARS during on Twitter, and I was seeing some of the videos, I was like, I can understand how Jesus could be. I can understand how the end times can happen, because if we can watch people on our screen live on phones literally be killed in front of you, and then the government come out and literally gaslight people saying it didn't happen, that tells me we are in devilish days. You understand? So when they wanted Jackie Aina to speak up, and she's obviously of Nigerian descent, when they wanted her to obviously speak up, she didn't necessarily speak up, and so that was the first issue, people. And then now to come and produce a product, scented candles, right? Scented candles with the set being called Awambe, meaning party. That's why you saw the video. I put it there first, and you saw some famous faces in there as well. And talking about party, and then to make one of the candles a name and call it something that is associated with NSARS is poor taste. It's disrespectful. It is hurtful. It is degrading, and it is unintelligent to do so, and a form of warfare to the very people who went through that particular situation. Now, what looking at, I was just going on Twitter, you see that people are literally dragging her from here to the high heavens, okay, all right? And again, because they feel like their life has been reduced now to a monetary fund. Now, Jackie Aina is very accomplished in dealing with brands and wanting to make sure that brands don't take advantage of black creators and people like herself. And she's spoken about, even, I think it was Tati last time we were spoken about this, right? And how Tati was, behaving towards her as well in terms of race and stuff like that. So if she's aware of this race concept, and this is what we say about taking cultural terms, if you're not aligned with the culture, you've got to be very careful what you take as a cultural term. because your understanding of the word may not be the cultural understanding of the word. It's why you do your research, R&D. You do your research and development, and you make sure that you're not selling something that could be detrimental. We spoke about this when we see brands. I remember one time, is it H&M put a black kid wearing a monkey top, and it was like this is not the time and the season for this nonsense. Who's in your department of marketing? Who is in that marketing department? Who's not understanding that this is a precarious time right now? This is stupid. This is not smart. Who's not understanding that doing something like this is going to rile people up? Who's not understanding that this is not the right time to put this product? And for her to put scented candles, firstly on the set called On One Be Meaning to Party, and then putting to party, which then to put sorrow soke in there, which means to speak up. And to combine the two, it makes you. It's going to make people so angry. It's almost the same as if you're saying we should party about what we experienced. Do you get what I'm saying? We should party about what we experienced, and because it was so heavily linked with NSARS. Now she may come out and say, "Listen, I was seeing it on internet, I was seeing it on Twitter, I was seeing it on social media trends, and that's what I was taking it as." Fair enough. If that's what you're saying it is, well, sis, now, unfortunately, coincidences have happened. A perfect storm has gathered. Perfect. Right? And unfortunately, the grace to allow her to not be dragged on this one is not going to be there. Because of the gravity of this action in terms of the word. It was literally a rally cry. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, your eyes will water. You can go on Twitter, it's still there. Some of the videos that people were literally begging for their life. And you're hearing people march, knowing they could die today, tomorrow, any second now they could die at the shot of a gun. And they decided to be brave and to march, just like what we saw with BLM. People brave enough to march for is it Eric Garner? I can't remember his name, if that's the name. I apologize if I got it wrong. But for our situation over here, right? So the same situation here, same situation in America, I should say, right? That if you would be quickly offended by if a white business owner had said something like this, it's the same grace we're going to apply to Jackie Aina. She needs to take that off the line, rebrand it, rename it, and then come back again. An apology needs to be heartfelt and made, right? Because it's ridiculous to associate a rally cry that was strong with NSARS, which you didn't want to speak up for, which is really ironic because the word's Sorosoke, and then now you're using it for business purposes. The lives of those people are not worth $38 a candle or whatever, how much it costs, right? And that's what people are pissed off about. The convenience, the sudden business move to try and do this, right? The sudden business move to do this. And again, it causes a rift between the diaspora of Black Americans and Africans, which tends to happen quite a bit anyway, It's difficult. And again, we'll ask this key question: who was involved with the product development? Because they also have a responsibility. Who's not telling you that this is? Who's not telling you this is mashup? Who's not telling you this is not a good idea? Who's not telling you that what you just said there is wild? Take it off. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button. I don't think Jackie Aina should be cancelled, but she's going to need to do some real repair work. I think, just like anybody who's unconscious of the biases that they have and unconscious about the privileges they have, really needs to go and do some work. I think Jackie Aina needs to go and do some work around this and just, maybe speak to some diaspora Nigerians as well to really get an aspect of what's going on in their minds, because this is madness, babe. Okay? Yeah? You can spot it in the white folk. I'm going to need you to spot it in yourself. All right, like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification on uploads. We appreciate it, guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll see you again very soon.